This is the Nissan X-Trail N-Trek. I thought I'd do a quick video to test the performance, the 0 to 100, because I don't think I've tested the normal 2.5 litre all-wheel drive 7-seater version. And I haven't tested the N-Trek before as well. The N-Trek kind of sits in the upper mid-level of the range. It's based on the STL. It was introduced in Australia in around April 2024. There has been a MY25 update recently announced, but it doesn't include anything fundamental. It's just got wireless phone charging and wireless Android Auto, but other than that, it is exactly the same. I don't think it really deserves the N-Trek badge. I mean, it does have a different bumper bar, kind of aggressive, go anywhere, rugged style theme to it, and it's got a lot of black highlights, like the black side mirrors and door handles, roof rails and things like that. But the N-Trek badge, you know, it was first introduced with the Navara a few years ago, and it was a more rugged off-road ready variant, whereas this, yeah, there's nothing really about it that makes it more off-road ready. It does come with these unique 18-inch alloy wheels, wearing 235/60 tyres. They're not all-terrain tyres or anything like that. And around at the back, we've got some more black or darkened highlights. I quite like the look of the new X-Trail actually. It's got like a chunky theme to it, but it still looks modern. This colour, I think, is a bit sort of 2019, don't you think? I remember the Honda Civic launched with a grey like this. It's not matte, it's still a gloss finish, but it's not metallic that I can see anyway. It might be very fine metallic. I'll flash up the exact specs now, but yeah, it looks like it's flat but glossy. Other unique highlights for the N-Trek include these so-called waterproof seats. So it's got this kind of rubbery insert down the middle there, which is apparently waterproof. It just means that they don't breathe very well, I guess, but you know, leather is kind of waterproof anyway. But other than that, yeah, it's just a standard X-Trail. It does have the brown two-tone dash trim there to make it look a bit classier, with the fake wood inserts on the passenger side and along the top of the door trim there. It does come with the two 12.3-inch digital screens. Some of the graphics in here are quite nice. I like the red and the grey and the black down on the instrument cluster, and you can change the look of that as well. But I was in here last night trying to turn the brightness down, and this grey box came up, which looks like it's, you know, MS-DOS from 1995 or something. So there are some nice graphics in here, but I feel like they need to fine-tune, especially the brightness. I think it's too bright. Some of these new vehicles that are coming out with these big screens, they light up the cabin, and when you're driving at night time, I don't think that's a good idea. I know I'm getting pretty old, but some vehicles you can turn the brightness right down and they become very, you know, subtle screen in the background, whereas this is definitely nice crisp graphics, but too bright in my opinion, even on the lowest setting. Passenger space is really good though. I like this sporty 3-spoke steering wheel. It kind of looks like the steering wheel from the Nissan Z. And then you've got a nice chunky center console with plenty of storage, including underneath. And then in the back, a highly versatile second row. You've got sliding functions there, so you can adjust the seat or the leg room from the middle row and the third row. So this does have the third row seat. It's not very big. Obviously you can take this security blind out, but it's good enough for kids, I suppose. I wouldn't sit back there. I mean, I'm pretty short, but I wouldn't feel comfortable sitting back there for a long journey. But in the middle row, it's totally fine. Plenty of leg room, and my head is nowhere near the ceiling. This example does have twin climate vents as well on the back of the console, and 2 types of USB charging. And then right up the back, we've got a manual tailgate, no electric option here. You've got a decent sized boot. And as I said, you've got third row seats. You can remove that and flip these down if you want to. And you've got a nice flat loading space. There is a panel here that you can lift out. Kind of pointless, but it just makes it nice and level, the whole lot. You can see there you've got cup holders for the third row as well, and some tie-down hooks, as well as a 12-volt socket hidden down in the corner here. Under the bonnet, the N-Trek is not available with the e-Power hybrid. This comes standard with the 2.5 litre naturally aspirated petrol engine, 135 kilowatts and around 244 Newton meters, matched to a CVT automatic. It's not the most powerful option out there. I mean, it's pretty average in terms of power actually, but the torque is quite low. The CVT does its best to try and maximize the available torque, but there are definitely sportier options out there if that's what you want in this specific class. And then out on the road, one of the best things about the X-Trail is just the sheer simplicity of it. Like, it is so easy to drive. I know most vehicles are easy to drive, but this is not intimidating at all. The proportions are also perfect, so it's easy to park. Good visibility all around as well. And you do have a slightly perched up driving position. You still sit in the cabin a little bit, like the window sill is quite high, so you're sunken down a little bit, but you can raise the seat up a bit. This does have power adjustable driver's seat in the N-Trek, so you can raise it up a little bit to get that higher view if that's what you prefer. It cruises along just fine as well at 100 kilometers an hour. It's requiring about 1500 RPM, which is nothing. That's thanks to the CVT, able to work out a long ratio, so it cruises. And then in terms of the handling, yeah, it is a little bit soft and what I would call sloppy, exactly like the Mitsubishi Outlander, which shares the same platform. There are more sporty options out there if that's what you prefer, but if you're spending a lot of time on country roads and, you know, in the city and things where there's lots of potholes and different styles of tarmac, then this suspension setup will be just fine. And then in terms of economy, I'm averaging 9 litres per 100 kilometers, which is, you know, it's not that fantastic for an engine that produces just 135 kilowatts, but it's not bad. I think you could get that quite low, much lower than that with normal use as well, not testing use. The official rating is 7.4, so I think, yeah, 8 or 8.5 is probably a reasonable expectation in the real world. And then lastly, the performance. As I said, the CVT actually helps provide more torque than 244 Newton meters would suggest. I'll just nail the throttle. And it picks up okay. You can feel a bit of a surge from behind. You could, you know, perform overtaking tasks with reasonable confidence. All right, let's head out to the performance test and see what it goes like. This is part of the reason why I don't like CVT transmissions. So just then I applied full braking, so it was emergency stop, and then pretty much straight after, or 2 seconds or something after, it won't give me all the power. It won't transmit all the engine power straight to the wheels. There's kind of like a delay, as if the transmission or the oil is tipped to one side, and you've got to wait for it to fall back into place to give you the power again. And I don't just mean full power, any power at all really. It's just like it's really badly slipping the clutch or something like that, which is not ideal. You might find yourself in an emergency situation where you've got to heavily brake and then get out of the way because there might be another car coming barreling down the highway or something like that. Whereas this, yeah, if you brake heavily, then get back on the power, you've actually got to sit there and wait for a few seconds. It's a good, 4 or 5 seconds before the power comes back. I'll do it again for you and show you what I mean. Braking from 100 kilometers an hour, pedal all the way down as far as I can push it. Back on the power, full power, it's not giving me full power. Now it's starting to give me power. So there's definitely a delay there, and it's not just the Nissan CVT that I've noticed. I've also noticed this in a number of Subaru CVTs, where it just won't let you won't give you that power back again for a few seconds at least.